to...
Welcome to what? Welcome to hell.
Welcome to hell!
Welcome to hell.
Welcome to hell!
Oh.
I must say, I felt as though I were in hell.
Oh.
Oh, no.
We have some technical difficulty going on.
Hang on. Oh, welcome to hell!
Welcome to hell.
Welcome to Horror Month 2019. I'm Spookarella.
And I am Dave Decay.
Are you sure about that?
I made it back. I am Dr. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not a doctor of anything. I'm Professor so-and-so.
He's a doctor, he's a professor, whatever. What else do you do?
He got demoted.
Wow.
So, it's Horror Month.
He has a lot of PhDs, apparently.
I have a whole list of them.
He's a Renaissance man.
They're probably under his drawer.
Under his drawers.
Is that what that is?
I got a PhD in my pants.
I got a PhD in my pants. Right here.
Okay, let me check. I think I'm myself again. Alright, so tonight we have one of the more classic movies again from Universal, and this is their second attempt at the Wolfman, and it's called The Wolfman.
Woo! That's what the Wolfman sounds like.
I just noticed a drink sitting here.
Don't want to mess with that. I guarantee you.
It might cause some werewolfery.
Yeah, you don't want to get any werewolfery in here.
Woo!
It smells quite nice though. Nice bouquet.
Okay, so I think this is also the debut, I'm not really sure, I think it is, of,
Lon Chaney?
I almost called him Robert Downey Jr. Lon Chaney Jr.
I thought she said Slim Shady. I could have sworn you said Slim Shady.
Well, by the time this review's over, I don't think anyone's going to know anything anyway.
Woo!
Alright, so Lon Chaney Jr. makes his debut here as the Wolfman. And I gotta tell you that the Wolfman is actually, for me anyway, one of the more frightening of the Universal monsters.
Why is that?
Because unlike Dracula, and unlike Frankenstein, and unlike the Mummy, definitely the Mummy, and unlike the Invisible Man, he is sort of uncontrollable rage. He's a monster that will just rip you to pieces.
The way he walks is thorny, through no fault of his own.
What?
Why yes, because he obtains the strength of the wolf. He is able to rip people in half.
And I don't know, I think the makeup is really frightening. It just really, it works so well. I think they've learned so much from the last werewolf movie and what didn't work with all the plants. Got rid of all that, and now they got a poem that they repeat about 700,000 times in this movie.
Even a man who is pure of heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright.
Yeah, that was close. That was pretty close.
Yeah.
I think she got a couple words wrong, but that was pretty close.
I nailed it. Thank you. Woo!
And the thing with this character, Lon Chaney's character in this, his name was Talbot.
Larry Talbot.
Yeah, that's what I said. So, it's just a weird character. I mean, it really is. He's sort of an awkward character that right in the beginning of the film, he's already like spying in on some woman with a telescope. I mean, he's a creeper.
A stalker, if you will.
Yeah, it's just a weird character, and it's kind of almost an unlikable character, sort of. So it's just a weird direction to develop a character who's sort of a creeper stalker. And then he goes and he meets this woman. He's like, yeah, I was checking you out with my telescope.
And then he asks her on a date like 5 or 6 times, and she says no every time. And then he's like, cool, I'll pick you up at 8.
And then he asked her not to pull down the shades.
It's overall just a weird character. And on top of all that, is she's getting married. He don't care. Larry's in there for the action.
He's Stalker Larry.
Stalker Creeper Larry. There for the action.
I just found it funny that his name was Larry.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Although this actually wasn't done as a comedy. This was back to the horror films of Universal. It was once again a new horror film from Universal and not a comedy.
Yeah, there was absolutely no comedy. I mean, there wasn't anything really even funny. Some of the films kind of project a little bit of humor here and there. This movie played it straight through the entire film. There was like almost no comedy. Or there was no comedy.
And also, Bela was in this movie as Bela.
Yeah, that was a pretty good stretch for him.
But he wasn't quite as good as he was as Igor in The Son of Frankenstein.
No, he wasn't. He almost kind of like called this one in, like phoned it in. He was only in it not very long, only a few minutes, but he did it okay. And then we also, don't forget, there's another famous character in this film, a famous actor.
The Invisible Man.
The guy whose name you can never remember?
What?
Claude Rain.
Yeah, and you can actually see him in this movie.
He's visible.
He's a visible man in this movie.
He's quite visible.
And he plays Larry Talbert's father.
Sir John.
John Talbert.
So, if the one or two people out there who's never seen the Wolfman, basically the story here, the plot is, if you get bit by a wolf or get scratched by a wolf, you become the wolf yourself. And that's what ends up what's happening to Larry Talbert's character, is he attacks, a wolf attacks him, and he defends himself. He gets scratched, and he becomes the Wolfman, and he's out, like, eating people.
Yeah, pretty much.
So?
And the other kind of thing that I noticed in this movie is the graveyard, they seem to basically reuse. It's the same graveyard in every movie.
Well, if you got a good set.
The other character that I thought was good in this movie was the gypsy woman. I thought she was good. She was very believable.
I think overall this entire film was quite good. I really enjoyed it. The one thing I thought was kind of odd, though, was that they had quite a bit of fog in the movie. Everything was foggy, and they never really explained why there's so much fog.
You want me to explain it to you, Professor So-and-so? I can explain it to you.
Lay some science on us.
You want to hear some science?
Give me some science on this.
It was all the pipe smoke. Like, every single person in this movie smoked pipes. I think the entire village smoked pipes. And then the pipe smoke just kind of drifted. It was drifting through the cemetery.
I can relate to that.
This movie was bankrolled by big pipe tobacco.
I can relate to this.
Wake up, vape up.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those few films that, I mean, they smoke in a lot of these movies, but it seemed like every other minute somebody was smoking a pipe. Can you explain that to me, Professor?
Because the smoking of the pipe is really, really good.
Oh, makes sense to me, I guess.
People enjoy a good pipe. And so do I.
Also, vaping hadn't been invented yet.
Oh, well, I mean, this was like the modern vaping. It seemed like this light's getting really loud in here in my bar.
I don't know what to tell you. So what are you going to give this movie, Dave Decay?
Like I said, I've always enjoyed the Wolfman, and it's kind of a frightening character. And it really is. And they did a really great job with the makeup effects in this film. I really loved the way the Wolfman looks in the movie. And I love how the transformation is, where he grows out like a chia pet and everything. Very nice. So, overall, I'm giving it the Golden Tombstone.
I also will give it a Golden Tombstone because I think it's one of the classics. And, it's great.
say that back a few years ago they came out with a remake of this movie, which I found to be exciting only for the reason that they hadn't done an actual Wolfman movie for years. I mean, they've had Wolfman films or werewolves in movies, but nothing, they didn't do the actual Wolfman. But after watching this once again, after not seeing it for so many years, it was really interesting to see how that actual remake had very little to do with this original film. I just wanted to point that out.
And what are you going to give it?
I would also give The Wolfman a Golden Tombstone because it was a fabulous film.
Now, like the two chumps that reviewed Silver Bullet last year, I also really love a good werewolf movie, and like the two chumps last year, they don't make them at all anymore. Very, very rarely do they make a good werewolf movie. They just kind of just don't do it. You know, werewolf movies used to be the big thing back in the day with The Howling and Silver Bullet, and then just constant American Werewolf in London and all that stuff. And now there is no werewolf movies. And I love returning to the classics, to where it began, and that was this here, and that's why I like it so much. And there you go. There is there's one more. There's one more classic Universal monster that hasn't been revealed yet. But the Wolfman was the second, I guess, to last classic Universal monster. And they waited quite a few years to bring him out, and it was worth it. So tonight, as in every single night, David and Becky are live screaming video games. I don't know what they're on tonight, but I'm sure it's really spooky, and they are doing it 7 days a week for 31 straight days. So you want to tune in onto that. It's going to be on the same channel later tonight, live.
Okay, so I'm going to go grab my telescope and check out the foggy banks of the land.
Sure. And for the rest of you creepers out there, stay spooky.
Ah, damn it. Now my thing came out of my hand.
Oh.
Ah, no.
We have some technical difficulty going on.
Hang on. And our tooth's falling out. The fuck?
You can't handle the tooth.
I gotta get her arm back up here. And her eyes looking all cockeyed. Cockeyed. She was doing my puppet. She looking all one direction. What the hell? Her hands all sideways. And her eyes looking up in the air. What the hell did you do? Oh, welcome to hell.
Welcome to hell.